So this is rhythmic stabilization, and it's a really great way to demonstrate to an athlete or to a patient what it feels like to truly recruit your core. Okay, so I know athletes and trainers, coaches, they all talk about outward forces, outward power, producing power, pushing, lifting, jumping, swimming, being faster, driving down, all those things. They think about the core and they think about producing power, but there's also accepting outside forces. And then, so if I create an outside force on Wenzel, he is going to then transmit that force across his body. Of course, his whole upper body is open chain, the bottom is closed chain. So he's going to borrow some stability from the closed chain from the floor, okay? So rhythmic stabilization is a classic sort of a drill. So you're going to come into neutral. Yeah, so you can tell his feet are wider than shoulder width apart. His fingertips are pointing up. His fingers are lower than his shoulder. His gaze is athletic, ready forward. Shoulders are pretty much towards the back. You can tell he's slightly pitched forward from the trunk. The legs are slightly bent. So he's got about 120 degrees at the elbow, the hip, and at the knee. Okay, so what I'm going to do is place my hands on his shoulder in the back and on his shoulder in the front. Now, if you do this with a patient or an athlete, make sure you don't smash their bicipital tendon in the groove here, because that can be a little painful. So what I do is I cup my hand like this instead of flat, just make a little dome so I can get over the delt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a push-pull. So this is a push, this one's going to be a pull. And I'm going to rotate him. Okay, so he's going to anti-rotate right away. Pushing and pulling. Now you can feel that, right?
Yeah.
And where do you feel that?
Across the sling.
Right, so you feel it in your legs, your feet, your glutes, right? So then I'm going to release him and just have him stay in the center. So the cue is I'm going to put some force on you, make sure you stay dead center, right in the center. So he's anti-rotating, but he's not, drastically turning his body. So I'm just going to do this, and then watch this. I'm going to quickly switch here, quickly switch here, quickly switch. So he's going from rotation to rotation. Now he's not doing any movement. You don't see physical movement, but you can tell, now I can already tell, he's got like this heat coming off of him from this. This is work, right? So if I just hold that pattern, where do you feel this?
I feel it.
Chest, shoulders, lats,
quad, hamstring, my glute.
Right. So the idea here is that we're really turning on. Now I'm going to ask him to pull his belly in a little bit more to increase that core, that balloon stability base, right? And then I want you to notice is he's got a little bit more kick. He's got a little bit more power. Good. Take a break. Yeah, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that the push-pull is going across those slings, those motor slings across the body. And